when we came through there in the middle of the night, the cones were blown all over the.
It doesn't surprise me. It was just starting when I left, because I stopped for dinner in Merrick. Come up the mountain, and as I'm going up the mountain, the rain started, and it was getting heavier and heavier, and I got home, it was just windy as hell when I got home, man. All night. It didn't start raining until this morning.
Call the meeting to order. I want to acknowledge the Similkameen Valley on which we learn, work, and organize as the ancestral and unceded territory of the Similkameen people and home of the Upper Similkameen Indian Band. Adoption of the agenda. Thank you, Councilor Gould. Seconder?
So
Councilor
moved.
McLean. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. We're going to go down to staff report 6.1 BC Transit proposed service expansion service.
Yes, if council would remember back to the August 9th meeting, council passed a resolution to transfer the management of the Route 50 over to the RDOS. The wheels are in motion on that, all the logistics of that. So now we turn our attention into the expanded in-town service portion. BC Transit has been working on a bit of a service model and a cost estimate for us to take the budget and also for them to take to the province. The cost estimate is based on 3 full days of service in town, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 1 hour on Tuesday, Thursday. And of course that is interspersed and topped up with on-request service, which we have now. Route 50 would also continue on, but we would be a contributing partner to the RDOS. This agreement is really just the first step in the process. BC Transit needs this agreement in place for them to take the request to the province for funding, because it is a cost share with the province as well. So,
How much, like, this seems, compared to what we're paying right now for the service, is this a huge increase or?
It's an increase of about 20%. However, there are expanded service hours. So right now we have the 3 full days within the municipality. However, it adds on the extra 2 days of 1 hour service and the on-call service on top of that. So right now the current model has it going Monday, Wednesday, Friday within town, and then Tuesday, Thursday to Penticton.
Yeah.
So there's no in-town service on Tuesday, Thursday. So the expansion comes on the Tuesday, Thursday within town.
Perfect.
the part that we don't have nailed down just yet is as we transfer the management of Route 50 to the RDOS, there will be a reduction. Likely there will be a reduction in our cost because we'll be a contributing partner.
Yeah, because we pay about 96 or something percent of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
it's not quite that bad because we do get a subsidy through Interior Health as well. So
But that's decreasing all the time as well because Interior Health has decreased the amount of subsidy over the
yeah,
last
so
few years.
with just off the top of my head, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I think the town right now pays between 60 and 70% of the total cost of Route 50, and obviously that would decrease if we headed over
And
to the
it
US.
eats up most of our transit budget as is, so perfect. Okay. Any other questions, Councilor Gould?
Does this allow for the pickup of students that were?
Yeah, so the full day Monday, Wednesday, Friday would definitely correlate with the kids going to school, and likely the 1 hour on Tuesday, Thursday would be around getting the kids to school at least anyway, so, yeah.
So
And-
decrease in the decrease in one, and we'll have
Yeah.
more service and not pay for the same.
That's right. Likely it'll cost us a bit more because there is 2 more buses that have to be purchased. So the cost will go up slightly. I don't know exactly how much, but we did need to get this in for budget approval with the province.
Right now, we're budgeted for about 120. I think the proposal's about 100. It's in the staff reports, about 135 or so.
Somewhere.
So it goes up a little bit.
And we will actually see an increase, not just in-town service, we'll actually, because if the regional service goes through, then we'll see an increase in regional service as well, because when they made their presentation, we'll have Monday to Friday service to Penticton, which, and they'll work to coordinate that with the other bus runs that are going into Kelowna and that. So it should increase our transit options across the board and get people to hospitals in Penticton and Kelowna and other appointments that we're desperately needing right now. Thank you, Councillor.
I'll
Willis.
second that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Elliott is seconding. Any last questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. 6.2, employee leave and scheduling policy number 006, 2023. CAO or?
I'll speak to that.
Okay, James.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we submit the policy as written to council. We're currently going to run with a trial of a flex week for inside employees in town hall. Essentially having our employees work an extra hour in order to earn an extra day off every 2 or 3 weeks. This policy formalizes that. It also formalizes a lot of the policies that we've had in place since I've been here, and probably before that. They've never actually been written down in a significant HR policy. There was an attempt to do so before my time with a consulting firm that the previous CAO hired, but it wasn't completed. So this is a complete policy that we can move forward and administer to staff properly, so that we actually have something written when we administer leave and scheduling.
Questions? Yeah, Councillor Gould.
Just to clarify in here too, so it's you have 3 options right now for the fact it's for in-house staff and outside.
Yeah, it's open to outside workers, but we've pulled the outside workers, and there was at the last time we pulled, there was only 1 staff member out of 13 that wanted to go with the program. So it's more on the employee basis that they wanted to keep their current scheduling as opposed to something that came down from management.
Okay, so then the consensus has to be their A, B, or C for the option. Or
Yeah.
can it be a-
So there is an option. that's
Option
already
C is a mix. It just has to be approved by the chief administrative officer.
And just to clarify, so you can clarify this to council, because they haven't been privy to all the conversation in the office, but there seems to be a consensus now in the office on how this is going to work, and everybody's kind of come to an agreement.
Yes, yeah. So we had we have an EDO policy right now that's in place, and some of the employees wanted to keep the same EDO policy that we have now, and that's allowed under this policy as well. So so some of the staff members will be keeping that. Some of them will be shifting over to like a 2-week rotation, and some of them will keep the original what we have now. So it's meant to be incredibly flexible, so that we can so we can meet the needs of employees while still maintaining town operations.
Okay, and then my next question would be on banked vacation days. Is the policy in here on that, so that, because it's a cost to you,
Shouldn't be any more banked vacation days.
there's financial implications.
Yes.
Banking days from previous, because your salary changes too.
Yes. So the vacation, the leave policy was designed so that it roughly keeps the status quo as to what we had before. So if an employee can take it on subsequent days.
Right, but banked vacation.
There are no, we have a policy. We allowed staff to during the flood, we allowed them to flow over, but I think other than the CAO, I'm not sure of anybody else that has any banked vacation days left. They were paid out or they were taken.
Under the auspices of the Employment Standards Act, we have to grant at least 2 weeks of leave if you've been here less than 5 years, or 3 weeks of leave for 6-year employees or more. That's required under statute, so we make sure that employees take that amount of leave. There's no other option, you must take that leave. For any vacation days that are over and above the bare minimum, they have an option of either taking a payout at the end of the year or using the vacation time through the year.
Okay, so exactly what you, is that written in the policy is what I'm saying.
It's not written in that policy.
We have a policy for that.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted clarification on.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, somebody want to make a motion? Councillor Elliott,
I'll second.
Gould. Last chance for questions. All in favor? Carried, thank you. 6.3, development permit for mixed-use commercial multiple family project with 150 units and 150 meters squared of commercial space, and development permit for an environmentally sensitive area to protect the riparian area at 309-311 Culbertson Way. Mark is getting up, so I'm guessing he wants to talk. Yeah. Done. Okay, Mark, it's your turn.
Thank you. Lots on the go today. Yeah, this is a DP for a development permit for a mixed-use commercial and multifamily project within the highway corridor DP, which is a form and character DP along our highway corridors. The development is working through a zoning amendment as well to adjust their design for the second development permit, which is an environmentally sensitive area permit, which is requiring the development to remain 30 meters outside of the riparian area adjacent to the Similkameen River. The form and character DP, it's a multi-use facility. They provided a landscape plan for all the frontage, except obviously exits and entrances. They also have kept any landscaping out of the 30 meter SPIA for the environmentally sensitive development permit. There's two different permits, so I'm going to try and talk about both, but separately. As far as the form and character, it's wood type exterior, mixed browns and beige with a wood finish on the exterior of the floors above the first floor, with one commercial space with signage on the eastern side of the development. And any questions?
Questions on that? Sounds good.
Well, just one question. This one here is the plan for the building?
Yeah.
The architectural plan?
Yes, whatever's in the development permit is their submitted plans.
So then again, on the assumption that that lot has been consolidated?
Anything else? Okay. Motion. Thank you. Councillor McLean is making the recommended motion, seconded by Elliott. Any last questions or comments? Councillor?
What are we waiting on for them? Are we still dealing with?
There's, we've still got to finish a zoning amendment for their redesign, which is on the agenda today. And you've approved or we're working on the development permits right now. Their next stage would be building permit stage.
And have they got it settled with the 30 meter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is all part of that the redesign and everything else had to be done so that it fits the 30 meters.
This has come back with the,
This is the final version.
just a point that I don't think we can ever stop fighting being in the middle of two rivers for that riparian area or whatever they're calling it, in terms of, this makes everything way more difficult when we're talking about it's fine if you're on the floodplain or whatever, but if you're above it and you're still getting nailed because of the 30-meter thing, as far as I'm concerned, we need to keep harping on that anyway.
Yeah, and Carrie and I already discussed this morning that we'll be following up with the ministers we met with to get clarity on the topics we took, and this is one of the topics we took to them for clarity in the future, that if a QEP comes back saying 15, then we want to understand why that's being ignored, especially when the developer has to pay for it, and it's just causing extra time. So Carrie and I've already, like I said, discussed follow-up letters to further those conversations so that we can get clarity.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Motion, or call the motion, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Next one, 6.4, repave Harold Avenue parking lot. Jim.
Good morning, everyone. So this morning I'm asking council to approve the extension of our 2023 annual road paving project. We have had a previous motion to approve the original paving for the 2023 season. However, I'm asking council to approve the extended paving project of what is known as the old Save on Food parking lot location. We've made a sort of a discovery that because of the atmospheric river event of 2021, it's further jeopardized the asphalt and drainage system there. So I'm asking council to approve the spending of $124,303.20 and award that to Peters Brothers Paving to consider for our extension of our 2023 annual paving project. Any questions?
You paved the one side, right?
That's correct.
Now, you're talking about the other part that had old pavement on it.
So where the actual building, the Save on Foods building itself was located,
So the part that we've already paved.
the old overweighty lot there. We use that as a sort of assembly area to store our scrap metal and our spoils from the cleanup of the downtown core. And basically it eroded the paving on the edge of our original project, and it destroyed the drainage in the area also. So
you're asking us to approve the paving that's already been paved,
yes, yes.
just so council understands?
It will complete that area, right?
No, it's all done.
Pardon me?
He's asking for approval to spend the money that he's already done the work for.
Already done.
Okay, what I'm trying to get is, you paved the one end of the old overweighty lot, right?
That's correct.
The other is old pavement.
That is correct.
And what are we doing with that?
So we've extended the paving into where the old Overweighty's building used to be.
That's gonna stay old paving.
For now.
Well, okay, I was hoping that's what you were gonna be doing.
No, paving's done for the year, right?
Okay.
Paving is now complete.
Anybody else have a question? So I'll just say it because I think all the council's thinking it. In the future, can you possibly bring this stuff to us before you do the work?
Oh, absolutely.
We can always call a special meeting if it's time sensitive. Motion? Thank you. Councilor McLean, Willis. Any last questions? All in favor? Carried. I can pay the bill now. You can pay the bill. Somebody, I'll sign a check. 6.5, to provide a form and character development permit for infill duplex development within town center development permit area. Mark, you're up again. It's like, I think you're gonna get the Mark show today.
Thank you. This is a development permit for form and character DP within the town center area. Lot 27 is on Tapton Avenue and part of the proposed Bridge Street mixed-use development with two duplex adjacent to the mixed-use building. Council approved a comprehensive development zoning for this infill project to allow a duplex on a smaller town center lot with access from the lane instead of from Tapton Avenue. That was approved in July of this year. So this form and character DP is to approve the materials and design of the project. The building is proposed in white hardy type siding with gray and off-white and black trim on windows and doors, with wood finish fence along Tapton Avenue and 3 parking stalls on the lane access to the duplex units.
So just to be clear, we're approving the development permit for the look and feel of it because we've already approved the rest, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Councillor Gould is making the motion to. Councillor Willis is seconding the recommended motion. I think it'll clean up that corner and make it look really good, especially with the sign and everything. So, any last questions? All in favor? Oh, sorry. Did you?
No, I thought you were putting your hand.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I was gonna call the question.
It didn't make it above the desk. So there's no council reports, but I am going to say a few things because I have to say I'm very proud of this council. I'm very proud of this team. UBCM, as everybody knows, we just came back from there, and there was a lot of talk about Princeton. There was a lot of talk about the work we've done. There's a lot of talk about our recovery, and it wasn't just once. I heard it over and over and over again. I heard it from ministry staff. I heard it from municipalities, large and small. People had to drive through here to go to UBCM. Anybody who stopped in was singing our praises. Yesterday I was in Kamloops for the fly fishing. We're one of the host communities for the fly fishing championship of the world, and I was even stopped there because most of the people have come through town, and I got one of the judges praised our gateways. Others were just praising how beautiful Princeton looks and what an amazing job we've done on it. And I just have to pass that on to council because I know it's hard some days when we make these decisions, and not everybody sees the vision. And I just want you guys to know, and I want everybody else to know, that what we are doing is being noticed, and it's not just being noticed here, it's being noticed around the province and in some cases around the world. So good work, and thank you. With that, we'll move on to bylaws.
We're going to mention how many times ministerial staff mentioned that their mothers were
No.
taken
No.
over with
No, I was not.
ease.
No. Thanks. 10, bylaws and resolutions, zoning amendment, bylaw number 1040, 2023. Mark, please save me here.
Thank you. This is zoning amendment up for adoption for the Culbertson Way project. The bylaw received approval from Modi, so it's back to council for adoption. This is the redesign to keep the building outside of that 30-meter SPIA.
This is the final thing, right? They can start now?
Yeah, please.
Please. Okay, questions? Oh, that was a quick draw there. Willis is making it. I think Elliot seconded that. Any last questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. You can give them a call. That's that's a huge project for Princeton. Motion to adjourn.
Whoa.
Oh.
I had a
New
question-
business, apparently.
I have a question for Jim. When we were there, we were in discussions with a councilman from Comox, and he was talking about, and I have no idea about this, so maybe it's something we've looked at or whatever, but he was talking about water barriers. Rather than sand, you know, sandbags and you fill them up and everything else, these big giant water
Tiger dams.
things you fill up with water and it serves the same purpose as the sandbags and stuff. Have we looked into that or
We,
do we know why they won't work or?
in the spring, and, we, basically assembled 2 units of, the Tiger Dam. There is a number of different
Yeah.
waterborne, dams that you can use, but the Tiger Dam was easily set up and easy to take down. In our situation, we talked to everybody that has used them, thus far, and one of the biggest problems was they, would tear open if you had debris coming through a river situation. Where they excelled was to block off whole streets. It worked really well for that, but in the event, like another atmospheric river event like we just experienced, they said it was the probability of it ripping open was highly likely.
Yeah, so I can speak a little bit about this. There's different applications for different delivery models. So Tiger dams are great if you're on a lake. We used them in 2018 out in Tulameen. If anybody was out there, we deployed them, and you deploy them right across a yard and whatnot, and it allows the water that's gently rising to stay back. In this situation, especially on top of the dike, not only that, I mean, there's also the pressure of possibly rolling it off and everything. So what we have up there are called HESCO baskets and of course sandbags, and they have their uses. And then there's another product called Gabions, which are very similar to the HESCO baskets, just a bit of a different design. So it depends on the deployment and what you're deploying for as to which one that they recommend. There's a lot of communities wanting to go out and buy their own Tiger dams, and the province has a stockpile of them for these type of situations. And when you own them, there's a risk with owning them because you need maintenance on them, and they do take a beating, especially if you're in flowing water areas. So it's better just to request from the province and have them bring them in, and they'll deploy them. I think they're in Kamloops, so they're just a quick flight over and stuff. So they've got these all over the province and whatnot, but they really do. It depends on the situation as to which one you use for it. We've discussed Tiger dams. The emergency teams discussed Tiger dams. I've met with the Tiger Dam salespeople and had conversations with them at trade shows, and they can do some amazing things. But like Jim said, if a tree comes ripping down and grabs a hold of that, you're not just losing that, you're losing your entire integrity of your entire diking system. So it's, yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess when you're talking about getting it from the government, when the level of the river comes up 5 feet in 4 hours, would we have the time to be able to get a hold of them if we were going to use them?
It's hard to
Then
say.
again, we wouldn't be able to make enough sandbags in a hurry anyway, so.
Yeah, well, it's hard to say. I think everybody's learned some really valuable lessons after 2021. I mean, nobody's ever seen anything like that. What the rain we're seeing right now is from an atmospheric river. The province and the federal government actually has like a rating system for them now. This is a Category 3 is what they were predicting was going to hit us. So depending on the severity and where they're going to hit, the province will now like pre-plan those areas out. And so if that was coming towards us, and it's not, we're just on the the fringes of it. Ed and his maybe pre-planning some of that, knowing that it's kind of like a hurricane. There's a Category 3 hurricane coming your way, then you plan ahead for that. So with the new rating system and the federal government and the provincial government both understanding now more about what these are. I mean, we used to call them, what was it, the Pineapple Express, right? It was just
Right.
a lot of rain. So before 2021, nobody had ever witnessed this sort of intensity. So there's a lot of awareness. There's some criticism, because now every time these come, they're going to have these categories, and people, you know, understandably have post-traumatic stress over it, and some people say we're just fear-mongering, but I mean, we have to have a category for these because they are going to hit us in different intensities.
If it's our staff that are being in charge of it, that's one thing. If you're expecting me to believe that the government, after watching what happens with fires, forest fires, and their response to forest fires and that, I'm gonna just
I'm not going to enter into
depend
that
on our
debate right
staff.
now. All right. If there's nothing else, I'll call for adjournment. Thank you, Councilor Gould. Seconder, McLean, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.